Hello, everybody. It's me. This is late. I know it is because we have just started a new year. 2017 is here. It's finally here, and I'm doing this at almost 2 in the morning because I wanted to get out of the way, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. So I want to do this, get everything I needed to do out of the way, and post it sometime tomorrow whenever it's done and everything's edited and all that type of stuff. So, how do I put this into words? Everybody here in the world, whether you're famous or not, or even newscasters, celebrities, normal people, everyone was commenting about last year, about how shitty it was. It was a cruel, remorseless, evil, insipid year, what most people say. The way I look at it is it was a normal year, but it was the first year in a while, I want to say, where we've had a huge amount of celebrity deaths. And when the year started, I don't think anybody really knew how bad it was going to be. Now, earlier in the year, if you watched my earlier video where I did a tribute for the former wrestler China and Prince, back then I don't think even I realized how bad it was going to get, because at the time the biggest ones we've had passed away before that was David Bowie and Alan Rickman, and then Prince happened, and then all bets were off. Like, everything was on the table at that point. But last year was the first year, and hopefully the only and last year, that I've actually made a list of all the people I remember, celebrity-wise, that has passed on. And I'm going to do this video as a tribute to them. I've also have their pictures and memorials, or their years that they had on this planet later, like towards the end of the video, whenever I'm done rambling and ranting, so you can just admire them. And if you don't want to hear me discuss and say why I know them or why I like them and all this type of stuff, then you can skip to that. But just hear me out, struggle with me for a little bit, because this is hard for me as much as it's hard for you guys hearing this. I made a list. I'm going to go through the list until all the people I know that passed on. The first one, ironically, did pass away on January 1st of last year. And that was Vilmos Sigmund. Now, some people may not recognize the name, but those of you that do recognize the name, or those of you that have ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, he was the producer for that. So, it wasn't that big starting off. This next one, on the other hand, is a big one. At least people like me that love the movie Grease. Robert Stigwood, who was the producer for the musical Grease, the film, that is, with John Travolta and Stockard Channing and, Olivia Newton-John. He passed away on the 4th of January last year. And then this one's a tough one because not too many people may know this person or remember him or his name. And if you do know him, you only know of him of this one character maybe, and that's the tall man from the Phantasm series. His name is Angus Grimm. He was 89 years old. He passed away on the 9th of January last year, and that one hurt me a little bit. Then next up, on the 10th of January, which was the day after Angus Grimm's passing away, we had the ever so popular David Bowie, who died at 69 from cancer. I was not a huge fan of his music. He was not my kind of forte. I'm not going to say his music bad. I would never say that. But it was not my forte. But, Labyrinth was a great movie, and I like him in Labyrinth. But yeah, it was very sad to hear that David Bowie had passed away. Then a couple days, 4 days later, we had another huge hit. On the 14th of January, we had Alan Rickman, aka Severus Snape from Harry Potter, or Hans Gruber for you diehard fans out there, or the Caterpillar from the Alice in Wonderland movie, or the Judge from Sweeney Todd for you Tim Burton fans. I'm not a Tim Burton fan. I just suffered through those movies. Not Sweeney Todd, but the other one, like god awful one. Anyway, he also died at 69 from cancer too, and that one was a huge hit. That one was really sad. For the older people out there that do watch my videos or do know, hopefully some of the younger people that do watch me know where this next person, and that's Dan Haggerty, also known as Grizzly Adams. He passed away on the 15th of January. And then for any of my fans that happen to be Eagles fans, Glenn Frey from the Eagles also passed away last year on the 18th of January. This next one should not have any remorse for his passing away. It's just another person that got fame from the worst possible ways, had passed away. I don't like this person. I don't respect what he did. I don't care for what he did. I'm just putting it out there. Derek Todd Lee, a known serial killer, also passed away last year on the 21st. You can hate me for putting him on the list, but he was famous, and I read a lot about serial killers, so I know of him. I don't have to like him to know him. Just saying on the list. To be honest, I think I'm glad he's dead. Perfectly glad he's dead. I don't even care how he died because I don't know how he died. Don't care. This next one, Abe Vigoda. For those of you who were good or Godfather fans, Abe Vigoda was in that movie. He was also, if you've ever seen the movie Good Burger, he was the old restaurant worker in Good Burger. He passed away at 94 on the 26th of January last year. The voice of Bugs Bunny after Mel Blanc, Joe Alaskey, also passed away last year on the 3rd of February. Then Dave Mirra, who committed suicide. He's a well-known BMXer. He committed suicide on the 4th of February. Very sad. Axel Rotten, for my ECW wrestling fans out there, you may know him. He also died on the 4th of February as well, from drugs, of course. Then, for people that know of Prince, maybe you've heard of his protege Vanity. Well, she died last year, too, on the 15th of February at the same age as Prince, 57. Then I heard this from my mom, because she was a huge fan of the show, Big Ange from Mob Wise. She had passed away last year as well. Sorry, my nose is running. She passed away at the age of 55 on the 18th of February as well. Or 18th of February. Sorry, not as well. The day after her, we had the writer of To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee, pass away. Then, of course, President Ronald Reagan's wife, Nancy Reagan, at the age of 94, passed away on March 6th. That was pretty sad. Frank Sinatra's son, Frank Sinatra Jr., also passed away last year, too, on the 16th of March. And then, of course, for my British viewers or people from Britain may know this next person, Gary Shandling, or people that have ever watched Over the Hedge. He was the turtle from Over the Hedge. He passed away on the 24th of March. Older viewers may know this next person from the show titled after her, Patty Duke. She passed away on March 29th. If you've ever seen the horrible sequel to Rosemary's Baby, she played Rosemary in that. Then we got Eric Bowersfeld. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's General Akbar from Star Wars. You know, the guy that says, "It's a trap." Ironically, he also passed away last year on the 3rd of April. Then we had Merle Haggard, which is a funny thing to hear about Merle Haggard. He's a well-known bluegrass musician. He passed away on his birthday last year, which was April the 6th. Then we had former old wrestler Blackjack Mulligan passed away last year on the 7th of April. Next up, we have Arthur Anderson. Now, a lot of people may not know him unless you're of my age, and then you will probably only know him from one thing, and that's the voice of Eustace Bagg in the later half of the TV show. He of Courage the Cowardly Dog. He passed away on the 9th of April. Then we have another ECW and former WWE superstar. This time it's Balls Mahoney. He passed away a day after his birthday, April the 12th. Very sad for that one. For people out there that know of Everybody Loves Raymond, the grandmother, or Raymond's mom, Doris Roberts, passed away last year on April 17th. And then, of course, we're getting finally into the area where I've already did a tribute. But China, WWE women's wrestler, first women intercontinental champion, a former women's champion. I think she even won a Royal Rumble, or she was in the Royal Rumble, but she didn't win it. One of the few women that's ever been in the Royal Rumble. She died on the 20th of April at the age of 46 due to drugs. Same thing for the next person, who died the day after her, which was, as we all know, Prince. We all know Prince. I'm not going to get into too much detail. As you can tell, I have the Prince love symbol for my respect and my admiration for an artist I truly love. It's still sad and shocking that he's dead, because of all people, we would have never expected Prince. He was in good health, we thought. So the drug overdose thing that played a part in his death, it's shocking. But he died April the 21st, and I don't want to dwell too much on both of them because this hurt a lot. Next up, we have Peter Tonks. Now, a lot of people may not realize this unless you're like me and you watch crime shows. He was the narrator for the show Forensic Files. For all the years it was on TV, he was the narrator of Forensic Files. He died at the age of 91 on April 30th. Then, of course, we're finally getting into May, and we have Alan Young, who is a well-known actor from Mr. Wood. He passed away on the 19th of May. Then we have Burt Kowak. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. You can look him up because he was Kato from the original Pink Panther series. That's Kato, the sidekick to the Pink Panther character, Inspector Clouseau. He passed away on the 24th of May. And then, of course, on June 3rd, boxing lost the legend, Muhammad Ali. We all know of him. We all know that he passed away. But what you don't realize is 3 days later, on the 6th of June, Kimbo Slice passed away. Now, I'm sure maybe a couple people out there know of him from that short time he was on The Ultimate Fighter, or his short MMA career. Most people may remember him as that big street fighter that made a name for himself. Maybe. But he passed away. Then, of course, I knew this person from YouTube before she even went to the, I think it was the X Factor she was on. But I knew of her way before she was on that show for her covers. And one of the most famous covers she ever did that I actually adore still to this day is Somebody That I Used to Know by Gayotti, or whatever his name was. And that's the person that was shot and killed on June 11th, or shot on June 10th, and then passed away the next day on the 11th. Christina Grimmie. Very sad. Young, very young too. She was 22. She was born a year after I was. So it's very sad. Next one is Anne Morgan Gilbert. I guess that's how you pronounce her last name. She was, if you've ever seen the film Grumpier Old Men, which is the sequel to Grumpy Old Men, she was the love interest of Burgess Meredith, aka the love interest of the main character in this second film, Walter Matthau's mom. She was the old Italian woman. That's a better way of putting it. On the 19th of June, we had Anton Yelchin pass away by his own car. That sucks. Most people would know him from the Star Trek reboot series. I remember him from Fright Night Remake. Then we have famous author for the book Night and a Holocaust survivor, Elie Wiesel, who passed away on July 2nd. Then we have Gary Marshall. He was Mr. Harvey from A League of Their Own, and I think he even directed it. He also directed Pretty Women. So he's very well known for Richard Gere and Julia Roberts movies. And it's sad because he passed away on the 19th of July last year. Miss Cleo, famous kook fortune teller. She's a kook, but she's a fortune teller, I think, or was a fortune teller. She passed away on the 26th of July of last year. This next one is, if you've ever seen Blazing Saddles, he was one of the bigger guys. He was the guy, he was one of the Johnsons, but he was the guy that was like, don't worry about that, here comes Mongo. He also did Santa Claus. He played Santa Claus in the movie Santa Claus the Movie, which is the old 1985 film. He was also the Big Lebowski in The Big Lebowski. He passed away on August 2nd, and that's David Huddleston. Then we have Kenny Baker, who played R2-D2. He passed away on the 13th of August. Then we have the voice of Stu Pickles from the Rugrats TV show, for all my people that were born and raised in the same time that the Rugrats were on TV. And maybe, I think he was even the voice of Stu on All Grown Up. I'm not for sure about that. But that's Jack Riley. He passed on August 19th. Then we have Mr. Fuji, another well-known actor. Little side note, I don't remember when this person passed away, but Frenchie Martin, I don't know too much about him, that's why I didn't have him on the list. He was a former wrestling manager like Mr. Fuji. He passed away last year as well. But Mr. Fuji passed away on the 28th of August. And then, of course, another sad one, the day after we lost Maker of Magic, the Dreamer of Dreams, a well-known actor. But most people, whenever you're watching this, will probably most likely remember him from, if not the Mel Brooks movies that he was in, everybody will know him definitely as Willy Wonka. And that's Gene Wilder. And Gene Wilder passed away August 29th. Then we have John Polito. Not too many people will remember him. I've first heard or seen John Polito from his small cameo in Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the 2000 movie with the live action cast, and Rocky and Bullwinkle as the cartoons. But he's well known more for being in a lot of Coen Brothers movies where he's either a short part or a cameo. Next up, we have Alexis Arquette, which is the transgender member of the Arquette family. Alexis was the first victim of Chucky's and Bride of Chucky, and whenever before the transition to a female, she was in Children of the Corn number 5, I think, the one with Eva Mendes. I couldn't think of her name. But yeah, sadly, she passed away on September 11th. And I forgot to mention, John Polito passed away on September 1st of last year. I keep saying last year, even though we all know what I'm talking about now. It's 2016. Next up, we have Shawty Lowe. Not too many people will remember him. I remember when he tried to go out on his own as a rapper, and that didn't work out. Unless I say this. Ever remember the song Laffy Taffy by D4L? Well, Shawty Lowe was a member of the rap group D4L. And he passed away from a car accident in September 21st or on September 21st. Then, of course, this next one, Bill Nunn, who was a lot of things, and I remember correctly, he was also on the TV show Martin. I think it was Martin. Look it up. I don't remember. I know of Bill Nunn a little bit. I don't know too much about him, but he passed away September 24th. And then this next one, golfing legend. We all should know him a little bit. Whenever you say golfing legend, you're gonna know him. Arnold Palmer passed away. He passed away on September 25th. Then Pete Burns, he was from that band that did the song "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby Right Round," the original version from the 80s. He complications of plastic surgery can do this to you. He also died at the age of 57 on October 23rd. Then we have this one. I didn't realize it happened until I looked her up one day. And this one actually hurts because she was 106 when she passed away. And her name's Lupita Tovar. She was the main female actress in the 1931 Spanish-speaking version of Dracula released by Universal Pictures. She died on November 12th. It's very sad because she was going on for these many years, and it's sad to hear that Lupita Tovar finally passed away. But she was 106, so she lived a good life. Florence Henderson. We all know Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch. She was the Brady Bunch mom. She passed away on Thanksgiving, November 24th. That's one of the first holidays. I think there was another one. I think there was one other person passed away. Nope. Okay, no. Nope. No. This is the first and so far the last person, or not the first and not the last person on this list to actually pass away on a holiday. She passed away on Thanksgiving, November 24th, and we all miss adore Mrs. Brady. Next up, you can either hate me or forgive me for this one, but Fidel Castro, the Cuban dictator. While he did some good, he also did a lot of bad. We can all agree on that. He passed away on the 25th of November at the age of 90. This next one actually hurts me a lot because throughout the whole year I was watching his movies. I watched him in Return of the Living Dead, where he was a mortician, Ernie Kattenblatter, or Colton Brenner, I couldn't get the name out, and then as the hitman, Paulie from Lincoln at Bernie's, and this is Don Calfa. He passed away on the 1st of December. Very sad. People probably don't recognize this next actor, Billy Chapin, but the only thing I can give you, which actually is kind of weird to hear about this, but he was in the movie Night of the Hunter. He was a little boy in Night of the Hunter, and Billy Chapin died December 3rd. Next up we have American, what was it? I think John Glenn was an astronaut? Yeah, it's John Glenn. He was a huge politician and American astronaut, I think. He died December 8th. Passed away. I don't really like to say died, and so passed away, let's just say from now on. I will try to say that. Next up, Growing Pains' dad and Robin Thicke's dad in real life. Alan Thicke has passed away at the age of 69 on December 13th. Very sad. Dr. Bombay from Bewitched, the old TV show, and he was in Hogan's Heroes and a bunch of other things. Bernard Fox has passed away on December 14th at the age of 89. And this next one was the only one in my Deadpool that actually did pass away. And she was a former socialite, and I was actually kind of surprised she outlived a lot of the things that she went through in her life. Her sister was Eva Gabor. She was somewhat of an actress. She was Marcia Queen of Diamonds, I think, from Batman. You can fact check me on that one, but it's Zsa Zsa Gabor. If you're looking for her, it's Z-S-A Gabor, Gabor. and she was 99. I was kind of surprised that she didn't make it this year because she looked like she was going to make it to be 100. And even before she passed away, her husband, her last husband, her ninth husband, which was a big controversy back whenever she was younger and she married him. I was had said that whenever she hit the age of 100, she wanted to live out the rest of her years in her native country of Hungary. She couldn't do that, obviously. She passed away on the 18th of December. And then this is where 2016 really wanted to get in those last moments. Because on Christmas, December 25th, Wham musician, LGBT activist, and godly singer, so to speak, for a lot of people, George Michael passed away. Then we have George S. Irving on December 26th. Boom, boom, boom. Fuck it, why not? On the 26th of December, we had George S. Irving pass away. And for those of you wondering who George S. Irving is, he was a heat miser in the old Rudolph Christmas movie. I'm sure whenever you were a kid, you watched it, or if you're, you know, my age, you've all seen it. Let's all be fair, we've all seen it at least once. This next one hurts because it's the day after his. This one actually hurts a lot. And this is, I'll give you one row. And if you don't get it, shame on you. She played Princess Leia in the Star Wars films. Can't you see a pattern? That's 3 so far. And as if you don't know, because I made a Facebook post on this whenever I heard that she passed away. I said, looks like Leia's finally up in heaven with her husband Han Solo now. And that's Carrie Fisher. When Carrie Fisher was in the hospital, my mom looked at me one of the 2 days, I think it was 2 days before she did pass away, saying, who had Carrie Fisher in the Deadpool? The only response I could say was no one. Because no one wanted Carrie Fisher to pass away, and nobody thought that Carrie Fisher was going to pass away. So, well, at least not this year, or soon. You know, we didn't think she was going to pass away so soon. But yeah, Carrie Fisher, at the age of 60, passed away on December 27th. And what kills this even more is her mother, Debbie Reynolds. The day after Carrie's passing, also passed away at the age of 84 on the 28th of December. And the last thing I remember seeing for that was a picture of Debbie Reynolds, who, for those of you who don't know, she played in a lot of older movies. She was one of the main characters in Singing in the Rain. And for those of you who ever seen Will and Grace, she was Grace's mom in Will and Grace. Debbie Reynolds was dressed up in her Singing in the Rain raincoat, hat, the umbrella, dancing, holding, linking arms with Carrie Fisher, dressed up as Princess Leia, the normal attire whenever you first see her in A New Hope. And they're linking arms and they're walking off into the sunset. All you see is their backs, and you can tell who they are by their costumes. And it's very powerful and it's very moving, and it's very gut-wrenching because I remember both Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher growing up. In fact, I think Star Wars is one of the first big franchise movies I remember watching growing up as a kid, not counting Disney movies or, you know, other things. And it's, I don't want to say shitty because all deaths when they hit you are shitty, but they're also, if people were in a lot of pain, at least they're not in pain anymore, and they get to go to a better place. but it's just, it's gut-wrenching. And this final one, in this list, in this video, with, of course, one final death. And that one final death just so happens to be on the final day of any year we've ever have. And that's the 31st of December. And this person, a lot of people will know as the Reverend from MASH, the TV show, William Christopher, passed away. And, ooh, buddy. It's sad whenever, because last year was the first year, and hopefully the last, that everybody from celebrities to people that don't normally talk about this type of stuff, to politicians, to activists, to other country people, are all collectively going for the fact of saying that was the worst year for deaths, because they hit so hard and hit so many people in so many different ways. And it's weird to think that we had so many childhood memories, or childhood experiences get crushed and mangled and destroyed almost to near catatonic levels by one year, because we lost a lot of them, and not all of them were great, not all of them were excellent, not all of them were bad, but it's sad regardless how you look at anybody on the list that I just gave you, because these are all the people that I know or that I remember. And you gotta remember that everybody can be good. You know, not everybody is always good, but not everybody's horribly evil or bad all the time either. You can't always be good, but you can't always be bad. And that's the thing. When we think of these people and their passing, we should never remember them as, well, we should never remember, you should never just remember the good. But you should never always forget. I mean, I'm trying to think of how to rephrase this. You should never only remember the bad. But you should never not think of the bad. You know what I mean? You can remember the good, and you can remember the bad, but don't just dwell on both. But just don't dwell on only the good or only the bad. You gotta have that mixed feelings. You know, I mean, we shouldn't remember somebody on this list, like Carrie Fisher, for her drug problems. Or we shouldn't just remember her for, you know, Princess Leia. She did a lot of other things. She did a lot of other good. In fact, her things for awareness for mental health, we should all remember and take that a little bit more than just her role as Princess Leia, or the fact that she did have a lot of problems with drugs when she was first starting out. And you should just remember what they did in this world. The good, the bad, it doesn't matter. Just remember that in some respects, there could be people out there that did love these people. And you can remember the facts that there could be some people out there that didn't like these people. But, you know, for most of these people on this, just, it's a remembrance thing. You know, you should never hate or fully, without any thought, love these people. It's just, it's sad. It's a remembrance. We should never just remember that they passed. Take their lives as what they were. As if they're still here. That's how you should remember them. Don't just think of the fact that they passed away. That's all I have to say. And hopefully this year, we're still going to have celebrity deaths. Each year is going to be a celebrity that we know passing on. You know, for me, what started for me noticing celebrities that I knew about passing away, it all started in 2001. Or not 2001, 2011. Well, 2001 I did have Dale Earnhardt, and I knew a lot about him. He passed away in a car accident whenever he was racing. But in 2011, it finally hit and started to trickle down from there. Oh, God, my nose is... Sorry. My nose is really getting wonky. 2011 started to hit me with this trickling forward of seeing all the people I either grew up with or knew celebrity-wise and being hurt that are passing, even though I didn't know these people. And it started with Ryan Dunn passing away in June of 2011. And it just sadly got worse because 2014 left me speechless. And then 2015 didn't help either. Because on 2014 I lost Robin, I shouldn't say I, because we all did. We lost Robin Williams. And that was heartbreaking. And then in 2015 we lost Christopher Lee, that hurt. We lost Roddy Piper, that hurt a lot too. And then we lost Wes Craven, and that deeply hurt. But then 2016 came in and took away Alan Rickman, David Bowie, Prince, Florence Henderson, Don Calfa, Zsa Zsa Gabor, George Michael, Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds, Elie Wiesel, Christina Grimmie, Muhammad Ali, Kimbo Slice. You know, I'm just putting it out there. But hopefully, because this is a year of rebirth, change, of not so much chaos. This is a 1 year, which, if you're looking that up, look it up. It means resurgence, of difference, a more fulfilling year. We can't change people dying this year. We can't. And we can't stop anybody from dying. Unless you're out there becoming a murderer, shooting people, then you should fucking stop. But you also can't change any horrible things that do happen. You just do the best to try to lessen things. And hopefully this year is a lesser of those things. So we'll just see. And I know this is a tribute video and I made it sappy, and I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm long-winded. I wanted to get a point across too, but I also wanted to carefully construct this video to think of these people. And hopefully I did. I will also send, at the end of this video when I'm done, I will post their pictures with their things and give them a moral, like R.I.P, their name on the picture with the years that they were born and the year that they died, which, as we know, was all 2016. So, that's all I have to say, and I will get this video up to you as soon as I possibly can. So, good night, and hopefully this year isn't as cruel to us as last year was. Justin Russell out. For more trap episodes, have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.